So welcome back to the 2017 Toronto Regional TCG Championships. We have here Jimmy Pendarvis versus Hugo Lapp, both 1-0 in the tournament so far. So a little bit of background on the players. Jimmy has been having a super amazing season. Oh, it seems to be frozen also. Is this what everyone else is seeing? Cameras are frozen.
Oh, we're getting
I think we're getting feedback. Okay, I was like, wow, they're setting up, but all right. So Jimmy has been doing extremely well this season. I believe he's top 10 CP championship points in the U.S., or in North America. He had actually won Indiana Regionals this season with Evital. So let's see what he has for today. Looks like a Giratina Toad deck. Very interesting. And his opponent, Hugo, is playing Volcanion. Jimmy has a Salamence start, which isn't really probably his ideal starter, but he did get the opportunity to Ultra Ball for Hoopa on the first turn. So you can get that Toad and Keldeo on the bench.
The Toad is the big one in this.
Toad is always the big one.
In this matchup especially,
yeah.
the trainer-based Volcanion.
Right.
He's looking,
and he got a
turn 1 X-Mania.
And honestly, the
and now you're looking
Salamence is pretty good.
Yeah,
because
it is.
Volcanion is going to end up having to bench a lot of EXs, right? Because
Skyfield, Hoopa.
Yeah, they're going to want to get Hoopa, they're going to use Shaman, they're going to want multiple Volcanion EXs in order to steam up for damage. So Salamence is definitely going to be taking a knockout.
And I'm guessing that the ideal turn for Jimmy is a Quaking Punch next turn and just ride that, right?
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't able to see what else is in Jimmy's hand. So, all right, Hugo goes for a deck search here, but ordinarily he would be getting Hoopa, right? And he finds himself unable to because of the turn 1 Hex Maniac. That's really going to slow him down.
He's still doing a deck search.
Yeah, he's got to be very thorough, and most players they have up to 2 minutes to search a deck. Correct?
Is that what the time is?
That's what it used to be, but I don't know if they've cut down that rule. Actually, that'd be a good thing to clarify. Since a lot of the time they're changing the time limits, but you do have a certain amount of time to search your deck in the beginning, and that's good because you can figure out what's in your prizes. And if it's something you're going to need that game, and you're going to have to draw prizes quickly.
I believe he was holding Hoopa. Is that Hoopa in his hand?
I see a Volcanion. Oh yeah, he does have Hoopa in his hand, but he's just going to have to discard
he's
it.
Gonna have to.
Along with the Superior Energy Retrieval. That's a card we haven't seen in a while, right?
Fair enough.
Superior Energy
It was
Retrieval.
most popular in an old deck with Blastoise.
Yeah.
And the newer Archie's version of Blastoise,
right.
too.
Definitely Blastoise's best friend, Superior Energy Retrieval. Get
Agreed.
those 4 energies on a Black Kyurem EX.
Agreed.
Blast
200.
someone.
I think it was Black Ballista.
Black Ballista, yep. 200 damage, yeah. That would be less good now because of the 240 Fighting Fury Belts issue. Black Ballista wouldn't even get there on some of these Pokemon these days.
It wouldn't. You're
Pretty
right.
crazy.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But 200 every turn is nothing to sneeze at.
Right, and there's no caveat on that attack. But we're talking about a different deck, so let's focus back on Volcanion. Oh, Execute, there's another old one. That's interesting. I haven't seen Volcanions playing Execute.
Oh, it's
It's the card that
I've seen
its
it quite
ability
a bit, yeah.
lets you put it back from the discard to your hand once per turn. So you can use it to discard again, basically, is the strategy there. So he would play a Superior Energy Retrieval, but he would use Execute as one of the cards to discard, so he didn't have to get rid of a valuable resource from his hand.
Same with Ultra Ball, too. So it
Right,
allows
and
you to Ultra Ball basically discarding 1 card.
Exactly.
And you can use it as many times as you want per turn.
Right. And Jimmy's last card looks like it was Professor Juniper, so...
He needs a
Yeah,
DC,
the DC
and
would be great.
the game is going.
The DC would be great. And,
Yep. And he's got a Fury Belt just to rub it in.
Oh
Yep.
my goodness. Well, we
Jimmy,
might have picked a little bit of a slow game here.
And it's lasers, yeah.
Tails. Yeah, because there's not too much he was going to be able to do. He's not going to be able to play items in his next turn.
And Quaking Punch is one of the most feared attacks.
Right.
It is, well, Hugo will not be able to play any item cards probably for the rest of the game until Jimmy decides to break lock and take knockouts with Salamence.
I mean, the other thing is he can still use Steam Up, so it's feasible that he could
Agreed.
destroy this Toad.
But he's going to attach 1 energy per turn.
Right.
Oh, but most Volcanion lists do carry Blacksmith now.
Right.
So
definitely.
That could come out of nowhere.
Yes, an expanded Blacksmith is definitely a factor to be considered. But this is a great start from Jimmy. It's exactly what he wants.
So he's teamed up there.
Yep.
Just to get an extra card off a Shaman.
Mentions a Staryu, so Starmie, would you want to enlighten us on that card?
It allows you every turn to pull 2 basic energies from your discard pile, which allows Hugo to steam up every turn guaranteed. Even after an N, he's guaranteed an attachment and a steam up every turn.
So we can see where that would definitely be useful to add damage output to Volcanion's attack.
So, unfortunately for Hugo in this matchup, I know this matchup very well. And the more Volcanions he benches, Jimmy's idea would be to take them up, Lysander them into the active position and knock them out. They have 3 retreat.
Right.
So, unless Hugo can get a Blacksmith, which I'm not sure he actually carries, but most expanded versions will, Jimmy will just keep punishing these high retreaters, right?
Okay, so Jimmy goes for a Crushing Hammer, flips Tails, goes for another one, flips another Tails, so that's 3 for 3 on Tails, so that coin is not really working out for him right now. Goes for the VS Seeker, might grab the Hex Maniac, yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, so no steaming up from Hugo, and this Volcanion is already knocked out. This
so Baby
brutal.
Volcanion comes up, but look for Jimmy to Lysander another Volcanion next turn.
Right. Yes, because since Hugo can't attach Floatstone, he can't play Switch.
Correct.
That Volcanion is going to be stuck in the active until Toad is done with it.
And there's quite a bit of energies in the discard right now, so you're going to see... well, he just made an attachment, so you're going to see 4 energies in play after this turn.
Right, because this Volcanion is going to attach an energy to 2 different benched Pokemon. And this is a little bit scary for Jimmy, because no matter what, like, these Volcanions are at least going to do 140. But Hugo seems like he's kind of disregarding that Salamence. He's like, that thing, there's nothing I can do about it, so might as well continue to bench EXs.
I'm curious on what's in Jimmy's hand.
Yes, it's very difficult to see what he's got there. There's an N, a VS Seeker, a Z.
He's going with the Hex Maniac, and we just froze.
Froze, lost video for a second
there.
there.
So we'll wait for a refresh here. But Jimmy is playing Hex Maniac right now. That will stop any steam ups.
Right, so what he kind of wants to do is chain that as much as he can. Every turn he plays Hex Maniac is pretty good, because the thing about Jimmy's deck is that it doesn't need anything, really. Like, it's got everything it needs already on the board. He doesn't need to attach an energy every turn. He doesn't need to find a new Pokemon every turn. All he has to do is Quaking Punch.
Agreed. And if Quaking Punch is so powerful because of the items, now Hugo's turn is completely changed because of the item lock. So Hugo would be going off like a rocket right now with Elixers and VS Seekers and Ultra Balls, and he doesn't have that ability, so he's at a disadvantage. And to make matters worse, Jimmy's hitting for weakness.
Right. Definitely.
His attacks aren't as powerful, but they're equal now. So right now, you're doing 100 damage every turn. Or, sorry, 80 damage every turn with a 30 Quaking Punch. And
right, 90 with Laser. And we seem to have lost video, so sorry about that, guys. Just bear with us through these technical issues. Through the course of the stream, of course, hopefully these will all be fixed. But even, okay, so no Hex Maniac was played, so that means Hugo can steam up, and he could potentially knock out this Toad next turn. It would take a lot, though, right?
But you're going to see another Toad come up.
Right.
And Volcanion EX's attack, he's not allowed to attack next turn.
Right, yes, exactly.
So even if he takes a knockout,
he
he's
getting
highly damaged.
Turn,
yes.
Yeah.
And he didn't get a Keldeo in play. So Hugo's in a tough spot right now.
It definitely looks like it's going to be an uphill climb for him, but even if he sees this game as fighting a losing battle right now, See, and Jimmy's pretty much removed the option for KOing that Toad, yeah. Unless Hugo were to have Lysandre, and also
Hugo
steam
does
ups.
have Lysander in hand. I'm quite certain I saw it, so that is an option.
You would also have to have a couple steam ups, though, right? 140. You'd have to have 2 steam ups in addition to Lysandre and an attachment.
You're right.
Because that Toad has Fighting Fury Belt, I think.
He could. You're right. You're right.
Which is a lot to ask for in one hand.
And then everything else is 170 and 180.
Yeah.
So. Okay, so he doesn't have an energy in hand, I believe, or he would not promote Starmie.
Yeah, he does not have one. He has a battle compressor, a bunch of items, Skyfield. It looks like a float stone. All stuff he can't play. A shaman.
Yeah, he can't do much, and he didn't promote Baby Evital because he's got to force Jimmy to take 7 prizes in this.
Yes.
Or else, if Baby Evital goes, or Baby Evital, stop me from that. Baby Volcanion.
Yeah, this is a Volcanion here. Red, not black.
Agreed. But if Baby Volcanion gets knocked out, then it's 2 prize. Jimmy's just got to take 1 EX and the game's over.
Right.
If Hugo attacks with a Volcanion, gets hit, retreats, he's forcing Jimmy to take 7 prizes, right?
Yeah, so you gotta think, if you're Hugo, that this is pretty bleak, right? This is a pretty dismal situation. And that's the power of Quaking Punch. But he also, at this point, instead of scooping the game, might want to see what's in the rest of Jimmy's deck, so he can kind of get more of a feel for how the next game is going to go and what outs he might potentially exploit.
Got it, so he's got an attack.
Yeah.
You did the math, and it's not possible, right?
He would have to have 2 steam ups.
He didn't even have a steam up.
I didn't have a single one. So that Toad is going to stay alive. I can't see anything that's in Jimmy's hand. He has an AZ, so if he wants, he could pick that Toad right back up. I believe that's an AZ.
He can just hide it on the bench. Because there's no items, Hugo will have, most likely, if he carries 2 Lysanders, he will Lysander twice in this game, and that is all he gets. He will never see a Via Seeker.
Right.
And I do not see Salamence coming into the active for the rest of this game.
God, especially in Expanded, Item Lock is just so strong because, I mean, it's strong in Standard too, as we've seen with the Decidueye being a dominant force in the meta in the recent tournaments. But Expanded has even more trainers to work with, even more crazy trainers to build your deck with, to add to your deck.
And to make it more consistent
as
well.
Definitely. As we saw with Jay's consistent Night March build last round. Like,
I
that would not have been possible without those
items. That matchup, yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Okay, so the laser helps things die into his turn. You can keep him asleep so he can't retreat.
Exactly. Jimmy wants this Volcanion to be knocked out going into his turn. Would be the ideal scenario.
Well, even if he can't get back, he can't retreat, then Jimmy gets the prize with a Quaking Punch again.
Right.
Okay, so Verbanks and Verbank.
That's brutal.
So what are we at now? We're at 80.
This Toad is
plus 1, so
quite
110.
Easily 2-shotting this Volcanion with a 30 damage base damage attack.
He's doing 110.
I know, yeah. But it's crazy how that 30 base damage can add up to this much.
Back into Jimmy's turn, he'll be at 150.
Yeah, so I don't think the math quite works out in order for it to die.
No, but he Quaking Punches, and
it will
now
be
he's
out.
1 prize away.
Right.
And Starmie's out there too.
Starmie is just chilling on the bench there.
Yeah, and Salamence is still in play with 2 Double Dragons, so that could still knock out a Shaman, right?
Wow, if you're Hugo staring this down, you have to feel pretty bad. But there's always comeback potential in Pokemon. So as we just saw, we did see some serious crazy stuff can happen.
Games last stream. All right, who does Hugo promote?
Yeah, and he's going to retreat. I mean, Shaman can be a pretty good resource in this too, but the thing about it is that Hugo doesn't have double colorless, but if he did, he could do a Shaman loop.
That would be good.
Yeah.
But he could actually attach these energies to Shamans.
To the double Shamans and start doing that, yeah. He's going to go for a Blacksmith on the active. Right, because if you Shaman loop, then they're never getting poisoned, they're never going to sleep, they're...
Look for a Lysander.
Well, unless a Shaman were to stay asleep. But... Right, so Jimmy wants to pull one of these EXs back up. He's going to have to take a knockout on a non-EX, but he doesn't really want it to be this Volcanion.
Because he can't one-shot it.
Right. Right, but he's gonna go for it anyway, because it looks like he doesn't have an option to pull something else up from the bench. Is a Shadow Triad? Oh, that's a Colress.
Yeah,
I know he plays Shadow Triad in the list.
Yeah.
As well, to grab the lasers back from the discard.
And it can grab Colress as well.
Yep.
Anything
Colress
plasma.
is such a strong supporter.
Very strong. And
we're really missing that in Standard.
He is getting max cards for a non-Skyfield game at the moment, yes.
10 cards.
All right, so I did see a Lysander in Jimmy's hand. So,
there's a lot of stuff in Jimmy's hand right now. A Crushing Hammer, another laser. He's going to attempt to put it to sleep. He puts it to sleep because the small Volcanion, the baby Volcanion, does not need to wait a turn to attack, right? It can steam artillery 2 turns in a row.
We just went out again, but he did flip heads on
Having
the
some
laser.
Video issues here.
And the baby Volcanion is asleep and poisoned.
Right.
With Burbank City in play.
Right, because Hugo's plan was to two-shot this Toad with the Volcanion and trade up that way. Trade 1 prize for 2 prizes on the Toad.
Well, and there's a heavily damaged Volcanion EX on the bench, and Jimmy has the Lysander in hand. So if one Toad survives this, and Hugo can't get those cards out of Jimmy's hands, it's as good as done, and Hugo may consider scooping soon.
Definitely. It doesn't look like that's happened yet, although we still can only speculate on what's going on here.
You're right.
But
I'm still in a little bit of awe of Jacob Lesage's last turn.
I mean, yeah, it was pretty crazy. If there was someone who made compilation videos, in Hearthstone, there's like people every week who go through streams to find the craziest moments. I mean, that would definitely be featured on there.
I would love to watch somebody if someone was willing to put something together like that.
There you go, YouTubers. Oh, hey,
and
here
we're
we
back.
are. I was saying YouTubers do that. Find the craziest moments, craziest plays in Pokemon compilation video.
Well, I feel bad because I never saw that move coming. And not to not talk about this game.
Don't feel bad.
But Jay is on a level that most of us can't understand. Jacob is a previous world champion.
Definitely a very good player.
He was top 16 last year. He's, I guess you expect plays like that, but that was the most legendary thing I've seen on stream.
Yeah, during the interview, he said that the plan slowly unfolded itself in his mind. He kind of like had a slow realization where he saw it. It just it appeared to him.
Legendary.
It was magical, yeah.
This game here.
Yeah, this game is a little more one-sided. Volcanion's not going to be taking 6 prizes in 1 turn in pretty much any scenario.
No, but if Volcanion goes first, like I don't mean this game's not over and anything can happen. It is Pokemon.
Definitely.
But if Volcanion goes first and has an explosive turn, I think that's the best way.
Definitely.
But if Jimmy dropping all those Toads and attaching DCs, having them ready, you know that you don't have to deal with 1, you have to deal with 2 or 3.
Definitely.
That's pretty difficult for Volcanion to overcome.
Right, and I know that Jimmy doesn't play Super Scoop Up, so once those Toads are damaged, the only way for him to, I'm pretty sure he doesn't, but the only way for him to get that out of the active is going to be AZ. No Super Scoop Ups in the Toad deck, which traditionally can be a way for Toad to conserve resources.
I need to take a peek here. I need to know what the possibilities. So we just received the deck list, and I'm just looking to see if there's any tricks that he could overcome this game.
Yeah.
That Hugo could overcome.
Right.
Yes.
So, yes, but Jimmy went first, got all the things he needed for the turn 1 Quaking Punch that game. But if Hugo were to go first, say get multiple energies on the board, attach, elixirs, and Jimmy were to fail a couple Crushing Hammers, then the game could be very different. And game 2, we could see Hugo taking a win there. If we get the video back.
If we get the video back. Now,
which our team is working
the retreat costs of all of Jimmy's Pokemon are quite a lot, are they not? What's Salamance's retreat?
It's gotta be at least 2 or 3.
Okay, so and Toad is 3.
Toad is 3, yeah.
Keldio's 2, so
right. So the Keldeo with the float stone is how Jimmy's planning on retreating all these hefty attackers.
Hugo has the ability to remove that float stone.
Not without being able to play items, though. Right.
Early.
Yeah, very early. If Jimmy were to miss a Quaking Punch. But Jimmy...
Quaking Punch is very strong.
Yeah.
As I try to look for an idea for Hugo.
We're trying to look for an out, and we're all, but Quaking Punch. So he can't do that.
Seismitoad is very powerful, and it's been powerful, and it's kind of taken a backseat. I would say in the last year, maybe 2, you don't see it as common, but there was a time when I would say Seismitoad was more popular than Dark is today.
Definitely. It was. I remember the format being basically like Night March and Seismitoad. At one point, at least. It was pretty much one of those two things. Or there was a third one, Virizion base decks, pretty much.
Virizion, Seismitoad was my go-to deck.
Yes,
that was mine.
definitely.
And my son, Jackson, it was his. He's the one that, put it in my hands as well. And
yeah, what's Jackson playing today, if you don't mind shouting out his deck on stream? Or is he trying to keep it a secret?
I don't know. Would I get in trouble?
I don't know. Yeah, we'll keep it a secret. His son Jackson plays. Playing in the event today.
Jackson's playing Seismitoad.
Oh, wow. Good call. Yeah, so I think Seismitoad's an interesting call for today.
It's an interesting call, but there's some bad matchups for it, too.
Definitely. That's very true.
If you get to see, like Jimmy, if you're lucky and you get Volcanians all day, then you feel a little better. So we have just jumped. We're back, we are at Game 2.
You gotta assume that...
Game 2.
You gotta assume that Jimmy won that game.
I believe that Hugo probably scooped.
Yeah. He didn't even have to scoop. It was almost over.
It was almost over, but Hugo was in a bad position.
Right,
now Hugo gets to go first this time, and things may be a little different. He has time to set up. He has trainers possibly for his only time for the rest of the game.
He did not get Hex-Maniac'd. Yeah, this might be his one turn of trainer, so he really needs to take advantage of it here.
We need to start calling them items.
Items, yes, because trainers can also include supporters.
That's right, but years ago, it was supporters and trainers.
Yeah, exactly. They were 2 separate categories, but now there are trainer supporters, trainer items, and trainer stadiums.
Correct. So Quaking Punch actually stops items.
Yes, he can still play stadiums and supporters.
My bad for starting that with the trainers, but...
It's okay. It happens.
So Hugo getting to go first is a big deal. As you can see, he is running through items quite fast now. And I expect to see another draw card, another Shaman here. Although that's a blacksmith in his hand.
Absolutely. Oh, man, yeah. I mean, if off of the Shaman... he's able to get a VS Seeker, another VS Seeker from that blacksmith, and blacksmith turn 1. Is that is that a thing?
He had it there, but he chose. But he wouldn't have had anything to draw.
He wants to refill his hand. Yeah. He wants to be able to have resources for the rest of the game, especially because he's not going to be able to, like you said, play items.
Well,
most likely.
The blacksmith turn 1 it would be scary to Jimmy, but don't forget Jimmy does have Hypnotoxic Laser,
right?
Which could actually change games, which is probably Seismitoad's favorite friend.
Exactly.
Right?
Like we've been talking about how strong item lock is, but we haven't even touched on how strong Hypnotoxic Laser plus Burbank City Gym.
That's right. It's an extra 30 damage, and you can put your opponent to sleep, which buys you turns. And because they're item locked, there's not much they can do sometimes, and it's
almost
30
nothing,
damage
actually.
between turns, so that adds up.
Yeah.
The damage adds up fast.
Yeah, the only way out is to AZ.
Correct.
But we're lucky we don't see that anymore in Standard.
Did Hugo does have a Keldeo. I gotta think that's what he's trying to get out right now.
Definitely.
So there's no Lysander stalls.
Right. I mean, unless Jimmy were to find his tool scrapper, he can always deal with it that way.
Let's look. Is it in there? It is in there. Keldeo's in there.
I'm looking to see if Jimmy plays a tool scrapper. And he plays a Xerosic, but I don't...
Which is the same thing.
Xerosic? Yeah, essentially the same thing, but I don't see... Oh, there's more trainers on the back.
Xerosic allows
no
you
scrapper, though.
to remove a special energy or
one tool.
A tool. So
it is your supporter for the turn, though. But
it is your supporter.
Like we discussed, Toad doesn't really have to draw a lot mid-game, so it can afford to play a supporter for a small niche effect like that.
When it's set up, they're the one applying pressure, which Jimmy has the DCE in.
He does. He has a laser too.
Oh,
I see.
So as long as there's no N here, I expect this to be a Keldeo. Yeah.
Yep. Here it is.
I'm not sure if he had a tool in hand, but he can also...
I didn't see it.
He can also keep 2 energies on it.
He hasn't played a supporter either. And yes, getting the energies to discard from the Keldeo actually works really well with Volcanion. It has good synergy because he can rush in, discard the energies, and baby Volcanion can attach them back to the bench.
What was the last card in Hugo's hand?
I cannot see it. I don't know.
I think it was a Juniper or a Sycamore, but...
I didn't see him play a supporter, but...
Okay, so... With no bench on Jimmy's side, he is going to Colress.
Yeah, Colress for
8, which is insane.
Oh my gosh, wow, yeah.
He has nothing on his bench.
So maybe that wasn't a laser, it was a Colress, excuse me.
That's right. He does not have one bench Pokemon, but he gets a Colress for 8. It's very fortunate for Jimmy. I'm not sure if that was his only supporter or not.
And on the reverse, if Hugo had not benched a lot of Pokemon like he did, Jimmy would be fine with that too, right? Because that would mean he wouldn't be set up, he wouldn't have obtained Keldeo, Jimmy would just Quaking Punch, and
without a doubt.
Yeah. So either result was fine with him.
I've played versus Hugo before, and trust me, this man knows how to play this game. He has taken me to the bank a couple times too. Do you see something?
No, I was just wondering. I don't know much about Hugo as a player. Do you know any of his accomplishments or anything interesting?
Hugo is a very competitive player. Doesn't do a ton of traveling.
Is he from Canada?
Yes. He doesn't have a lot of... I asked him his accomplishments for this year, and he said League Cups, which is still very good. He's won some League Cups.
League Cups have been a lot more competitive this season.
But I can tell you right now, I've played versus him. He's a very highly competitive player. He knows what he's doing, and he picked a very good deck for today, in my opinion.
Right.
Unfortunately, he's being hit for weakness and a lock deck.
Right. Never fun. I know that Volcanion was Jimmy and Igor, who both played this deck. Volcanion was their second choice, so also a very good call for the day.
I believe so. It's just unfortunate, that he's playing against Toad, and that he can still beat Seismitoad. I have no doubt in my mind.
The right start,
but it's
anything can happen.
Not what he wants to see.
Right.
Hugo does not want to see a blue Pokemon in front of him.
Right.
Especially if it's a frog on there.
Definitely. So Jimmy's just going to bench Salamence. So that Salamence is really threatening.
Right now, yes.
He's kind of like, oh man. But he's just going to hit into Volcanion for 60 and stop Hugo's items. So he does look like that's a Juniper and an Energy. So he attaches the active, plays the Juniper. So Salamence does 50 for each EX Pokemon, right? So it's doing 350 damage.
Is that what it is?
400 damage,
1, 2,
I think so.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 EXs. My God.
So.
Nothing surviving, let's put it that way.
No, yeah, nothing, yeah.
Oh, and there comes another Toad.
And now it's pretty close to attacking.
And the Float Stone.
This is
And another Toad.
And the Colress again. Oh,
what is he getting? Nicolina,
so
what is he getting?
I don't know, let's count.
He's got 8 over here, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Wow, 13.
How would you like that?
You gotta imagine 13. you're gonna get what you want when you're drawing 13 cards.
Draw 13 cards on your second turn.
Wow.
So I imagine Jimmy's just doing the same strategy he did before. He's just gonna Quake and Punch. You don't see a lot of surprises from what Jimmy's playing.
Right.
Hugo, you'll see surprises.
He wants to probably get a couple Crushing Hammer, and there we see one.
Oh.
Almost as fast as I could get that sentence out, he played one.
It was a heads, yeah. I'm wondering what's in Hugo's hand and what his options. I'm pretty sure I saw a Lysander, but I didn't see anything else in his hand.
So Fury Belt goes on the Toad. What else is his hand? A Laser, another Double Dragon. Looks like another DCE.
Always putting benches down, yeah.
Yep. 2 Giratina.
So if he puts all these down and then he bumps the stadium, he can get rid of cards of his choice.
Yes. Which I think he would get rid of the Hoopa. Then maybe one of these Giratina.
The Giratinas go because the Giratinas really don't lock anything in this matchup for him. There's no
he would just
benefits from this. This is Toad. This matchup Toad wins the war, right?
Definitely. Oh, so Hugo's just going to pass. We might be having a slightly shorter game.
See, yeah, Hugo's holding a Lysander, and it really doesn't mean anything because...
Yeah. The Salamence, he just attached another energy to the Salamence. He's ready to go.
He's not going to attack with it.
No, definitely not. He doesn't have to right now.
He's taking the Colress back because...
What is he looking for?
He is going to Colress for a lot of cards.
Next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. This round is pretty much going exactly the way Jimmy wants. This is the matchup he wanted to see, one of them, and this is the way he wanted to draw, right?
Yes.
Turn 1 Quaking Punch both games.
So Hugo's not doing well. If you notice, he promoted one of the only Pokemon on his bench that's not weak to water.
Right.
He's drawing for N.
It's kind of a last-ditch effort to stay in the game. He knows Jimmy had that cool rest, so he really wants to take that away from him.
Drawn his share of cards. Well, was that max? Yeah, does he have 8 over there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So almost max Colress.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Maximum would be what, a Colress for 16? Wait, right?
I've never done it. I've never had the situation. I've never got the Colress for that many.
Yeah, Colress for 16.
My Colress is average like an 8 at tops or 9.
It's better than like a 2 or 3. You know, those games when Colress was in your opening hand and your opponent was playing Darkrai and they bench like 1 or 2 things. That's definitely been the case.
A very, very famous matchup where a man became the world championship holder. He Colressed for 1.
That is very true.
Yeah, so you can see the difference of the number of cards you get with this. And
Colress is fickle.
Quite a different Colress here than Andrew Estrada had seen at the World Championships.
Yeah. And Andrew Estrada's playing today too, right?
He is. I'm not sure how he's doing.
I think he was 1-0.
We'll keep that in mind.
Good start, yep.
I'm still in awe of Jacob Lesage. I can't...
Can't get over it? It's stuck in your mind?
It was incredible, and I didn't see it, and I feel so guilty. I thought...
Don't feel guilty.
I thought it was going to end up an unfinished game.
Yes, we all did, I think. So he's going to play a Sycamore, Juniper.
It's a lot of good stuff that he would love to have been able to play, but no option there with item lock. Yes.
Yeah. And that Caldeo's asleep. And there's just no way to retreat. He could attach to the Caldeo and pass, but I think he's just going to sacrifice it to the Quaking Punch here. And attach to a bench Volcanion.
And it's still asleep.
Yep.
I find...
And Jimmy just Quaking Punches. Doesn't need to do anything else. That Salamence is ready to come up. He's going to take the 2 prizes here on the Caldeo, most likely. And then if the Volcanion comes up, he's going to knock it out with Salamence. So...
You may see him... Yeah, you may...
It looks like he has everything covered here. The only thing Hugo can do is send up the non-EX Volcanion and hope Jimmy doesn't have Lysandre.
Blacksmith.
He can Blacksmith, yes, on the bench, but that's not really going to make a difference in this game.
If he could knock out Salamence, it could make a difference.
Right. He would have to promote this Volcanion after this Caldeo dies. He gets knocked out. And then Lysandre.
The math right now, he's at 120, and a Quaking Punch. See, Jimmy can get him to die into his turn. Remember that. He can either hit for 30 without the band. Can he?
No, he would have to get this Toad out of the active. It will be knocked out going into Hugo's turn.
Oh no, into Hugo's turn, no matter what?
Yes, because he will be doing 70 damage, right? No.
No, so he's doing 40. You're at 120. You're
50
at
with laser.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, oh no, yeah, he's gone.
That's what I thought. It would be knocked out.
I just wanted to know if there was any way of him staying there and dying back into Jimmy's turn.
He would have to AZ the active Toad and hit with the bench Toad without Fury Belt, I believe.
He wouldn't have to AZ, because he's got Keldeo.
Oh, he does have Keldeo, you're right.
Yeah,
so many blue Pokemon on the bench there. Yeah.
Hugo was in a lot of trouble there, and that
quick.
Hex Maniac by Jimmy was clutch. It was pretty much a done deal before that, but Jimmy sealed it with that.
Definitely. Just a super good matchup for Jimmy's deck.
Yeah, very favorable. And Hugo, the good sport he is, still smiling. He's one of the nicest people I've met in this community.
Aw, that's
and
awesome.
he is a competitive player that just hit a bad matchup.
Definitely.
End of story.
Yeah, well, he knows there was really nothing he could do with that game, right? So he's not going to choose to be bitter. He's going to choose to move on and hopefully not run into this deck anymore throughout the rest of the day.
I don't think there's a lot here, but, I haven't seen the whole field yet, and I just don't imagine Seismitoad's popular. I imagine Volcanian's more popular, which would entice people like Jimmy to play
Volcanian, yes, exactly. Decidueye would probably be pretty good for Hugo to run into. If he expected that to be popular.
He would love to see Decidueye.
And I've seen some Decidueye Lurantis decks, actually, which is pretty interesting. But Jimmy wouldn't want to face that, but Hugo would.
The Vileplume,
yeah. No, not Decidueye Lurantis, Vileplume Lurantis.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. Yep.
I believe it's more favored and expanded over Decidueye Vileplume.
Yes.
In standard, right?
Right, definitely. And that would seem to be a good matchup for Hugo, but Jimmy probably doesn't want to run into that with his water deck.
Agreed. And Hugo does not want to see any more Seismitoad decks.
Right.
You've seen how, I would say, lopsided it is, and I'm not saying that Hugo didn't have a chance, because he did. I just don't feel like it's very highly unfavorable.
Yes, very, very unfortunate.
Jimmy was happy to see those red Pokemon flip over, I can tell you that.
Type advantage is a huge deal. Deal in the TCG. As we saw with the Gallade versus the Darkrai.
Agreed, yes.
The Seismitoad
Don't bring that matchup
Volcanian.
again. I can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
Jay is a legend. My lord. It was incredible to watch that performance, and I'm still in awe.
Game. Yeah, this game didn't quite live up to the expectations in the first round, but
unfortunate.
Still good to see the variety of decks that players are bringing to the expanded format. Which
I agree.
They have a lot of new tools, old new tools to work with to incorporate back into their decks. So it's interesting to see like the decks that have emerged in standard with the newer set being modified with older cards from expanded.
I wish that we got to see Salamence attack though.
I know, yeah, attack for 400.
I haven't seen it. That's right. Yeah, and it was. Is that what it was?
Yeah, at one point it was 400.
It was a lot of damage. Like nothing was surviving, and it would have been nice to see a big.
I think that Salamence's role is usually. We have Jimmy over here, so we'll get you in for an interview in 1 minute. Can you wait here? All right. So yeah, we'll get Jimmy in for an interview here about this game. So.
Welcome back, guys. We're here with the winner of last round. A pretty uneventful game.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that it was made you quite happy when he flipped over Volcanian.
Oh yeah, I saw Fire Energy when he was shuffling. So.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah, he dropped the Fire Energy.
That,
so I was like, okay, it's Volcanian. I just have to quick and punch in the early game, protect the Prince with the Salamence, because if that thing lives till the end of the game, I can Hex and then it can't die. So it takes 4 prizes guaranteed. So Volcanian was like one of the matchups I wanted to play against, and I got to play against
it. I tested that a lot, and it's so favorable for you without the Salamence. But I really wanted you to attack with Salamence at the end of the game.
No, I did not want to attack.
I know, but it was. What was the damage output? I didn't do all
it was doing enough. It was one-shotting.
Oh, it was doing a lot, more than enough.
But like in the second game where I Via Seeker, or I picked up Hoopa and then next turn Scoundering for Jirachi for Hex, it made it impossible for Salamence to die. So it was going to take 2 prizes on the following turn, 100%.
Agreed.
Yeah.
What made you choose Seismitoad?
I expected a lot of Volcanian and Night March. I know a lot of the top players were going to be playing those. And with Karen, it's super easy against Night March. You just Karen and then lock their items with Quaking Punch.
What have you seen? What does the field look like here today?
Looks like a lot of Volcanian, Night March, some Mega Rayquaza, which was another matchup I wanted to play against. I got that round 1. You
got Mega Ray on round 1?
I got Mega Rayquaza round 1.
So your strategy in Mega Ray would be Garantina.
So I started with Seismitoad, and then I just kind of build energies on the bench.
Yep.
So I got a Salamence powered up, which is guaranteed 2 prizes, and I got Giratina powered up. Yeah, Salamence is the MVP so far today.
I would think so. I would love to see him attack.
Well, he has to just stay on the bench. It almost guarantees a win, because I can't Lysandre it up. If I put it active, it's in risk of dying, and then my damage output's actually very low. So.
Well, Jimmy, I gotta say that it was a very uneventful game, but your deck is very effective.
Yeah.
You never let him play.
That was the game plan. It's kind of boring to play, but the matchups are just so favorable. I had to play Seismitoad again. Yeah.
My son's playing it too.
That's good.
Yes.
I'm sure he'll do very well.
Well, I congratulate you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
I congratulate you. I hope you do really well for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah,
and I can't wait to see you again.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be back.
Thanks, guys.